New Jersey landlords may need to adjust their practices right now. And when I say right now, it is August 21st, 2024. The settlement for realtors and the National Association of Realtors just came in and was put into practice on August 17th. And this is having an overflow effect into renters. The same agreements actually apply to renters, and this is part of the equation that now even renters are going to be required to sign an exclusive renter agreement with an agent. Now, there's a bunch of issues around that because a lot of agents don't even like to work rentals, and renters certainly don't want to sign an exclusive with an agent to show them a bunch of rentals because most people stop after one or two. So there's going to be a lot of trouble getting rental broker agreements signed for people who want to rent. Now, how does that play into the whole adjustments for a landlord? Traditionally, over the years that I've been a licensed agent, which is 10 years, in the state of New Jersey, at least where I am, almost all rentals are tenant pays the broker fee. So that means in New Jersey, it's traditionally been 3.5 months to rent upfront when it's a listed property on the MLS with an agent. So that's first month's rent, 1.5 months security. And just if you're curious, the reason why it's 1.5 is because in the old days, people used to just leave a month early and say, hey, you have my security, but then you have nothing extra in case there's damages. So it's 1.5, and then 1 month broker fee, which was traditionally split between the listing agent of the rental and the renter's agent. The truth is that in a lot of rental listings, the listing agent gets both sides just because the overflow of leads that come in direct to the listing agent are astronomical and very, very hard to manage because you can get 20, 30 a day just on one property. So now with these new rules being in place, it's going to be much harder for people to get into rental properties. They're going to want to see them on their own. They're going to think, hey, I'm renting. Why does this apply to me? But this is why the landlords now for New Jersey may need to start to adjust. And to be honest, it's always been my pitch to all of my landlords over the years that, hey, look, why wouldn't you list it with an agent? You don't even pay anything. That is what my pitch has been. And now my pitch is going to have to change because as a landlord friendly agent and one that deals with a lot of owners of properties and who of course are landlords, I have to always be working in their best interests. And when you see days on market pile up for very nice rentals, you have to think, well, maybe people are trying to save a little money here. And maybe there are a couple ways that we can adjust that make a little bit more sense, at least right now. So the first adjustment that I would suggest making, again, this is not what you have to do. I do think that 3.5 months up front is partially a vetting mechanism. If you're looking for people with more cash in the bank, this is great, but it doesn't discount people who don't have, $10,000 around as being good renters. So this is why this is just a consideration. It's not hard and fast advice, but here are some things that are, I would say, options for landlords moving forward in 2024 after the NAR settlement, which is having, again, an overflow effect into this. So the first thing that you can do is, as a landlord, you can just choose to pay your listing agent your broker fee yourself. Instead of putting that half month, which is usual, again, all commissions are always negotiable, but instead of putting that half month onto the renter, you can pay that yourself for the services that your listing agent is going to do, handling the, complete tornado of leads that come in. And that's usually, again, not hard and fast, always negotiable, half month of rent. So if your rent is $2,000, your broker fee on the listing side would be $1,000 in the traditional setup. Then that takes care of that. That's already saving a renter a half month. So now they're down to 3 months total. But there's a way that you can adjust it to make it even better, or at least more attractive in terms of the landscape that I think we're going to see coming up more and more from renters. And these can be very qualified renters who are choosing not to buy or maybe don't want to buy in a high interest rate environment. So if you as a landlord are taking up your side, that's going to be a half month that you're going to pay. Now, there's still the compensation of who's on the renter side. And one thing that I mentioned before is that the majority of rentals are probably closed by the listing agent doing both sides, which is dual agency. If you want to eliminate that, there are a couple ways to do that. One, you could tell that the rental agent, and this actually goes hand in hand with the new rules that commission compensation can't be disclosed on the MLS anywhere. So you still have to call and ask for it. So if you wanted to just eliminate a dual part, the single party payment system, is you can say as a listing agent, my seller is compensating me, your renter can compensate you however you want. So if that rental agent can get 1 month's rent, that's up to them. If they can get a half month, again, the traditional, that's great. If they want to do it for a flat fee of $500, they can do it. And you can leave that all the way up to the other side. So again, if you're doing that, you've just eliminated that part from the negotiation thing. You're paying your landlord fee to your listing agent. They're going to get the 1 month and the 1.5 months plus whatever their rental agent is charging them. So that can make things a lot easier because then you can have rental agents who maybe they're just going to make a killing doing them for $500 each, no matter. I think you could do really well like that as a rental agent, as a new real estate agent. But again, it's kicking a lot of tires, looking with renters because there's a lot of opportunities. It's not always easy to get answers on that. And now the wrinkle in the system now is that because the majority of the leads come to me if I'm the listing agent, you could ask your listing agent, and again, not necessarily advocating this because it's a lot of extra work for me, but you could say all intake leads, I don't want you to deal with them at all. I want you to just deal with me. That means you don't want dual agency for the listing agent. And what I would do as a listing agent is I would set showing blocks, which are modified open houses for rental open houses. And I would tell everyone in advance, if you're looking to avoid paying a broker fee, you're not going to have any representation on your side when you come through. I can't actually talk to you about anything that would help you as a renter. I can only give you the information that's in the listing that is coming from my client or things that my client, the owner or landlord, is wanting you to know. So that's another way to do it. And again, that renter, though, is going to be on their own. They're going to get the lease. They're going to have to figure it out themselves. They can ask questions. It will be a pain for listing agents to get only half of that commission and then do all the work. But you would be hands off with the renters. And I think a lot of renters are going to want it that way, although I don't necessarily think it's in their best interest. I think if you're transacting real estate and you think you know things, I think that if you're not a real estate agent or you haven't been in the business for a long time or you haven't done a bunch of transactions, you might not know as much as you think. So there's a careful mechanism there that you have to lose, but those are the options. So in that option, if the renter then comes and says, well, I'm comfortable renting, myself, I've rented 3 years in a row, I understand what's there, and you can just give me the information, that renter can save one whole month. So they could save on a $2,000 rental, $2,000, and they need only 2.5 months up front, since you as a landlord are now paying the broker fee, and they would save the broker fee on their side. I don't think it's as easy as all this, but these are just options for you to consider as a New Jersey landlord in 2024, when things have been made a little bit more difficult in terms of the exclusive and non-exclusive representation of renters. If you have any questions at all, or you want to see the full email that I sent to all of my landlords going over everything, which includes a link to a 23-minute podcast on the market with my friend, the host, a new host of Bigger Pockets, Dave Myers, and an economist. I don't think the economists had all of the right pinpoints, but I think their discussion is valid, and it's what made me make this video because I think it is relevant. And as I said, my job as a real estate agent is always to work for the best interests of my client. In this case, it's a lot of landlords that I work with. This is just opening them up to opportunities. It may get them more leads. Sure, it could get them more unqualified leads. You just absolutely never know. But when you see days on market as a listing agent creeping up for any rentals, you want to make sure that your landlords are just cognizant of everything, the opportunities that they have out there, if they'd like to pay the broker fee on their side and then see what happens on the other side. I think it's kind of going to go hand in hand with what's been going on with buyers, and I think it is a valid strategy to at least consider. I'm Jonathan Green. My solo team is Streamline Properties, licensed in New Jersey and New York. If you have any questions at all, post them in the comments. I love answering questions in the comments on YouTube. Have a great day.